Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This time we might go into different direction than what I usually do. It's one about self-exploring, and it might be really good for the times like this when the entire world is going through a time of craziness. I can't believe things like this are happening, and the world just changed entirely in the last 2 weeks, and not for the better. Maybe just for nature, because nature kind of got a break from us. But also, like, sometimes I don't understand why humans can't help nature before nature actually gives us a good old slap on the face and reminds us how weak and inferior we are with all our security and control we have. Anyways, I wanted to talk about fear, because fear has been something that has been in my mind for the last 2 weeks, especially ever since last Thursday. I'm in Ireland here, and on Thursday they announced that the schools are closing. I'm a retailer, I'm a manager in one of the retail shops here in Ireland, and coming to work on Thursday, I've never seen something like that ever in my life before, and it's just been like, it's been shocking. So in a way, when you see people panicking around you, your panic button switches on as well, and you start panicking and you start panic buying. I've kind of forbid myself from behaving like that, because I know, like, we kind of eat fresh, and we like to eat fresh and keep healthy, so I don't want to buy like 10 kilos of flour and everything. Anyway, since last Thursday, I've kind of felt the change inside me as well, not just around me, but inside me too. And I felt scared. I haven't been scared for a long time, and I was thinking, sometimes when a certain feeling comes back to you that you haven't felt for a while, it is for a reason. And this virus, the COVID-19, it scared the shit out of me, because I had serious lung issues when I was young, and having this virus around you that affects lungs, and that you can die from pneumonia, and like from literally suffocating, and suffocating that way of death has been the worst kind of death that I could imagine. And because of this, I kind of really felt scared for the time being, and it kind of forced me to move back in my life and to think about my relationship with fear and what I was doing throughout the difficult times in order to deal with fear. And what can you actually do when you're scared? What are the 2 things that you can do? And I think you can do is to go in 2 different directions. The first one is to face your fears, okay? And the second one is to build your sense of security first, in order to be able to face your fear. For example, if you're really scared of heights, a certain person, like the healing place for a certain person would be to actually walk on the cliff edge, okay, and to kind of push himself over the limit tiny bit, and to kind of face your fear. But for a certain person, that would be completely wrong, and that person wouldn't go anywhere near the cliff ever again, because that experience would be traumatic. It would just be like if you're re-traumatizing someone. So how do you know which is the right solution for yourself? That's a tricky one. What I'm doing always when I feel scared, it's usually because we are so fragmented. We humans, we have multiple selves inside. So if I'm scared of something, there is like a separate individual inside me that is afraid. You can go into a state of meditation and call upon that person, that part of yourself, and try to get to meet him or her. When I did this in this situation where I was really afraid of getting a virus in which I'm gonna suffocate to death, I called a part of myself which had this traumatic experience in which me, that part of me or entire me, felt traumatized by the fact that she almost suffocated and nobody reacted. And what I noticed from this, that pushing myself in this situation wouldn't be the thing for me. That part of me was literally shaking, completely like, and I couldn't talk with it. I couldn't do anything about it. I tried to offer it some food, some comfort, a hug. I didn't want anything. So the last thing that I could have done with it is just to sit beside it and wait. Just to be there. Just to be there if it needs me. Just not to be alone. And that's the thing that worked the best. The way to speak with the part of yourself that is afraid is to actually take it as a separate entity and to call upon it. And this is the aspect of you that is afraid, and ask and see what it needs. The thing that I've learned about myself is that my parents were children. My parents had big issues with being scared themselves. So when they would see me scared, they would just take off. And this is what was happening throughout my life. People, when they would see me scared, they couldn't hold me, they couldn't have me secure and safe. They would just take off. They would give me sweets, they would give me medicine, they would take me to doctor. But this is not what I needed. I needed someone to sit beside me while I'm scared and to just be there. And guys, the thing that you can do in the times that are so trying like this is to see where your fear lies. This entire situation is triggering different kind of fear responses in us, and we need to see what we are afraid of. I realize that I am afraid of dying, and we all know that this is a thing that will happen eventually. We are all gonna die one day, but I don't want to die now because I'm having fun. I have a great life. I have a life worth living, and there are certain things that I still want to do. So my mom died 6 years ago, and she was always saying, "Oh, fuck life. I don't want to live. I would just wish that I could die." And like 2 months before she actually died, she said like, "Oh my God, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to experience this, I want to be a grandmother, I want to do..." And I was like, okay, but for the last like 40 years of life, you were saying that you can care less if you die. But we all have this survival instinct in ourselves, and you should see where your passion leads you. Now it's a great time because like usually we are so feeling secure, and because of this false sense of security we think we have plenty of more days to do the things that we love. And now this little tiny virus is reminding us that life can be very expendable, and then we might die tomorrow. And oops, but I wanted to do so many things. Maybe now is a good time to think about what you really want and what you really need, and what are you so afraid of. I figured out that I am not afraid of death. I'm afraid that I won't have enough time to do everything I want, and that if death comes for me tomorrow, I don't want to go yet. I still haven't experienced everything I want, but I am on the other side protecting myself from all these amazing experiences that I can have because I am afraid. And guys, let's just be straight. If you're afraid of death, you are not afraid of actual dying. Dying is like 3 seconds, a minute maybe. But what are you afraid of is, what could you be if you truly lived? If you truly allowed yourself and the old self to die, what can be born out of this? It's the same question I am kind of giving to myself. What could I be if I let the part of me that is protecting me from life to die? You see, the way we're growing up, we learn what is safe and what is not safe through our family. So if your family is a kind of family that is not great with feeling stuff is death. The death of love and support of your family. If your family only loves you if you're doing sports, not doing sports, it's death. And the end of the love of your family. But what do you truly want and need? I think this virus is here to remind ourselves that we are not as safe and secure as we thought we are. And that a little one-cell organism can kick the entire world out of track, can literally derail us. And whatever you had before that you thought is safe and secure, and the fact that you felt protected from anything that you were scared of, is gone. The caveman had a lot of troubles. Life was very tricky for him. As soon as he left the cave, there could be an animal out there to kill him. He could get injured. There were no doctors, no medicines. Lifespan was short. He had to face his fears every day when he went out to the cave. There was no option to stay inside the cave. He just had to go because he had to eat to survive. We don't want to go back to the cave, of course. But how can we be nicer and kinder people if our survival mechanisms are gonna kick in and we're gonna get 20 packs of toilet rolls, and someone who's old and can't buy 20 won't have any? We should face our fears, even if that means literally facing them or admitting that we have them and try to build the strength and security to face them one day. But I don't think we have much chance as a species if we don't really. I hope you're all safe. Boost your immune system. Stay safe. Keep your social distance. Be kind to each other. I wish you all the best, guys, and I hope the next video is gonna be a little brighter one, but we'll see.